Arsenal fans all over the world, I think this is the video that ever since this January transfer window really opened up is what you've been waiting for. This is the most credible information you'll ever get about the transfer targets of Arsenal, coming in through from a tier 1 journalist known as Sammy McBall, who is a chief football writer at the Mail Sport down in the United Kingdom. It's going to excite you, and you are going to get to know who is the priority target for Arsenal and what other transfers can follow after this is going to be made, because Arsenal needed to obviously contemplate over this for a very, very long period of time. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really doing fine wherever you are. Now, let's start it off with this story coming in through from Sammy McBall before we obviously get to the return of James Maddison to the first training session or team of Tottenham Hotspur, which is going to act as a big boost. And lastly, we are going to tackle a little bit of a story coming in through from Play to Goal, as Joelinton is going to undergo a surgery in Barcelona, and how long is he going to be out, out of action. And it shows you that Newcastle's season is really being damaged by the injuries they are really getting, because if injuries keep surging up like that in your team, it shows you that it's going to be hard for you to compete, because teams that are really ahead of Newcastle are really having their players return from injury, as we're going to see. We thank God for the gift of life. It's a Thursday, and yesterday, as I told you, Liverpool went ahead to draw with Fulham, and on the aggregate of 3-2, they went ahead to make it to the final of the Carabao Cup. And on the 25th of February, they are going to toss it out at Wembley against the side called Chelsea. In there for you, Chelsea beat Middlesbrough by 6 goals to 1 on Tuesday, and the aggregate was 6-2, and they're into the final. So I think most of you are really eagerly waiting to see to it that this final really comes to pass. And I don't know which team do you support, but me as a fan of Man United, I don't want to see Liverpool lift this. Chelsea rather lifts this, and I know Arsenal fans don't want Chelsea to lift it because they know it's a London rival and they don't really work on well with the side of Chelsea. So it's upon to you, and you have your own reasons backing your facts on who do you want to win this trophy. But for me, I'd love Chelsea to lift it. I don't want to see Liverpool lift this trophy, because my team that I support, Man United, lifted it last season, and I don't want to see Liverpool lift it. I would love to see Chelsea going for it. So let's see close to 200 likes. Smash on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a day. Now, Sammy McBall via the Mail Sport has told us the following: that Arsenal, who were offered Karim Benzema earlier this month, have considered moving for a versatile defender before next week's deadline and remain open to doing so. Now, when you talk about next week's deadline, it's all about the 1st of February, because that's when the winter transfer window is coming to an end. 1st February is when this window is going to close. And everyone was asking, Arsenal is just pointing on at players, and some players Arsenal has been pointing at have started crossing from one side to another. Will Arsenal go in for a player? Sammy McBall tells us that if Arsenal is to go in for a player, the decision has been made. It's going to be a versatile defender. Guys, have I been in Sammy McBall's mouth? Ever since this winter transfer window commenced, you read my words very well. I told you that all what Arsenal needs so far, they should get in a versatile defender. A versatile defender who can come in through and play as a central defender, and all a right back, and all a left back. And those versatile defenders are everywhere into this world and the market. Now, why do Arsenal need a versatile defender? And why should they go for one? When you look at the right back of Arsenal, it's really lacking quality. Quality as in how they surge the final third of the pitch. That is it. Ben White will get that ball, fly onto that touchline very well, but his final delivery is really lacking. And in the modern game of football, you need right backs in the frame of Cancelo, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kylian Trippier, Pedro Porro, Rich James, Diego Dallo. And they should be really multi-dimensional. When they really cross the center half, they must be having that that urge or that technique of inverting inside, and when it means them going wide, they go wide. If it means them going and narrowing down the pitch when they are coming in from the touchline towards the byline, they should obviously be having a skill set to take off the players they're obviously going to face in the final third of the pitch. This is something that is really affecting the style of play of Arsenal 100%. It's affecting them very, very much, because every time Odegaard cannot obviously open up the defense of a team, then Arsenal looks like they are lost of ideas. That is it. That's why you saw to it that in the game they played against Crystal Palace, you saw to it that out of the 5 goals they scored, 3 of those were really counter-attacking goals, you know, that came from open play. The first 2 goals came in from set pieces, corners, Gabriel Magalhaes, you know, the first and second one. But the third, it's a counter-attacking team that saw the goalkeeper of Arsenal, known as David Raya, get hold of that ball, release Gabriel Jesus swiftly. Gabriel Jesus busted into space. After busting into space, guess what he did? He found Trossard. Trossard did a very good first touch that skipped off Nathan Klein, and he faced the goal and we went ahead to curl that ball into the back of the net. You get? The fourth, Nketiah releases Martinelli. Martinelli faces the goalkeeper and really curls that ball into the back of the net, you know, in the bottom corner, right? Then the fifth one, Jorginho just releases Martinelli again. Martinelli really capitalizes onto his space. You know how he operates better when there is a lot of space in front of him. He made it count. So Arsenal are not really creating very many goals during open play. And when you see their games of West Ham and their games of Fulham and Liverpool, when they had to lose, they are not creating chances from the open play of the game. Like, I'm not because even the 3 goals they scored against Crystal Palace, the next 3 after the 2 were really coming from the open play, but it was a counter-attacking side. You know, they are really transiting very well in the final third of the pitch. But that is not the style of football that Arsenal plays. Arsenal plays as a team that gets in what we call a build-up play, and they want to open up. Now, in the due course of Arsenal wanting to open up, they should get in a right back who can do more in the final third of the pitch. Bring in perfect crosses, because they don't have any player who brings in perfect crosses. Even if it's Zinchenko, he doesn't bring in perfect crosses. So that's why they need a versatile defender, you know. And on the list, they're having Sergi Boy, they're having Kyle Walker-Peters, that is on the right, you know. And on the left, they're having Nouri. You know, he plays for Wolverhampton Wanderers and he's really good. He inverts very well, but if at all I were Arsenal, I would have gone ahead to obviously go in for the left back who plays for Brighton. That is Estupiñán. Estupiñán is a very good player, but I know why they cannot go for him in this January transfer, because they cannot really let their best player really cross. You know, but I know Brighton are really willing to sign in another left back, meaning that they've gotten signals that they cannot keep Estupiñán this season. Now, when we go to the left back, they're having Zinchenko. When you look at Zinchenko, he is really a calamity when it comes to defending. Possession-wise is okay, inverting inside is okay, but the modern left backs add all that in one. A modern left back must be having the ingredients and minerals to invert inside, and when it matters for him to obviously go wide, you know, towards the byline and really bring in that cross. But when we are talking about Zinchenko, the only thing he does good is inverting in the midfield, and when he obviously widens up the pitch, he becomes a liability. He doesn't help the team. You get? So you need a left back like Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw, Robertson, Alfonso Alves, Estupiñán. You get? Those are the kind of left backs we're talking about. You know, they are good left backs that will surge into the final third and obviously create in lots of chances. Even Nouri, who plays as a left back for the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and his team Algeria has been knocked out of the African Cup of Nations, he's really good. When he reaches the final third of the pitch, he can take off a player. And in this era, if you cannot take off players and really create space, then football is not made for you. That's why at a point X, I've always urged you that why doesn't Mikel Arteta think of playing Zinchenko in the midfield and getting a left back that can get the job done? So, of the right back who is really versatile and a left back who is really versatile, who do I think Arsenal are going to go in for? I think Arsenal are going to go in for a right back who is really versatile, because when Julian Timber returns, the job can get done. Tomiyasu is going to return and he can close down that side very well. But you miss out onto what we call the final third contribution. And that's why Arteta needs to really get in a right back like Sergi Boy or Kyle Walker-Peters that can bring up a very huge effect for the side of Arsenal. And all those players I'm talking about are not beyond 20 million pounds. They can get those players for 20 million pounds and the rest will be history. That's what I think about it. Now, after signing those, can Arsenal get in other players? I think the only player that Arsenal can get in is Karim Benzema on loan. That is it. Or either they get him in as a free agent and obviously sign him. But I don't see them cashing in for another player apart from a right back, because they're really having some financial constrictions, and the hugest bit of it all is that they don't want to spend huge during the January transfer window, because they want to get in 4 major signings during the summer transfer window. And one of those is Zubimendi, who will cost them close to 53 million pounds. The other one is Douglas Luiz, who will cost them close to 100 million pounds. And remember, Douglas Luiz will be a replacement for Thomas Partey, and Zubimendi will come in through to replace Jorginho. You get? Those are 2. Then they'll have to get in a right-sided forward, with the left foot. They'll either go for Leroy Sen, they'll either go for Pedro Neto, there is Mike Olise, there is Gerard Bowen. The list is really endless. So, and then they will go in for centre forward. So they're going to get in 4 players, and none of those players will go below 50 million quid, meaning that they need to get further into the Champions League to get in more money. And if at all they can get in like 100 million pounds from the Champions League and 150 million pounds from the Premier League, that is 250 million pounds. When you add on other incomes, they're going to have to add on to what they already have. They can obviously have close to 600 million pounds of income, and they'll have close to 200 million pounds to spend, and that will act very well. That's why you should eat that. They've gone ahead to go in for Joshua Zirkzee as their centre forward. They're really looking at to play for the side of Arsenal next season, because they know they can distribute 200 million pounds in 4 players, and they can obviously get them. They can obviously get them and bring them in, as they obviously try to offload certain players and get in some money. So I think this January transfer window, Ivan Toney to Arsenal is really hard to happen, and Monreal is hard to happen, Douglas Luiz is hard to happen, but I see 2 realistic deals. That of Karim Benzema, especially if at all he terminates his contract and he decides to join Arsenal and come and play in the Champions League, or they will get in a right back, Kyle Walker-Peters or Sergi Boy, to come in through and do the needful, because Sergi Boy does a double purpose. He can play as a central defender, he can play as a right back, and he has a lot of minerals that he adds into his game each and every time he's obviously going forward, and his recipe is complete. Defensively, he's quite good, and offensively, his approach is really proven. Now, let's go to the very huge story coming in through from Tottenham Hotspur. Close to 2 or 3 months, they've gone ahead to miss out onto their creator, that is James Maddison. And we are having good news coming in through from Tottenham Hotspur, reported to us by Jack Brock, who covers Tottenham Hotspur and England for The Athletic. He has told us that James Maddison returned to full training at the end of last week, staying at the training ground to work while the rest of his teammates flew off on holidays during the club's winter break. Now, we all know that every team in the Premier League is going to have to be given what we call a rest of they're going to have to be given a rest of how many days? They're going to have to be given a rest of 2 weeks. That is a fortnight, all 14 days. And That's when this guy returned and he said, I'm not going to go for holiday. All I need to do is to obviously keep in my batteries, charge them, and get ready for the game that they're going to play next into the FA Cup. And guess who they're playing the FA Cup? They're playing against Manchester City, but it's going to be played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend. And it's going to be one of the hugest games to be played into the FA Cup. But James Maddison is going to be was hugely missed by Tottenham Hotspur, and they went ahead to struggle a lot. Why did they miss him? Because of the stats he had gone ahead obviously to put up this season. And he had played 11 games, 3 goals and 5 assists. Those are 8 goal involvements in 11 games. It shows you how exactly they've gone ahead to miss him, meaning that they've gone ahead to play 10 more games in the Premier League without him. So his return gifts them a lot at their 40 points and to fight for the Champions League spot for the side of Tottenham Hotspur. And I think he's one of the best creators we have in the game, but we know that he is an injury-prone player, and that is no doubt about all what he does. So, welcome back, James Maddison, and if he can keep himself fit until the end of the season, I think Tottenham Hotspur can obviously go far, especially if at all Song Heung-min returns. Timo Werner hits the ground running like he played against Man United, getting his first assist in his Tottenham Hotspur debut for the goal that Bentancur scored against Man United. Kulusevski returns, Yefis Bissouma returns, and Pametsa Sarili return into that team. I think a lot of chemistry will be really made to the front three of Tottenham Hotspur, as James Maddison will be getting those balls from Yefis Bissouma and Pametsa Sarr and then release those players. He is really a talented guy. I love him a lot, and I wish he keeps fit. He is really one of the approved players that will go into the Euros, but question marks are on his fitness. No one doubts what Maddison puts up on the field of play, especially when he's fit, but the inconsistency that is brought him through by his injuries has gone ahead to affect his career a lot. That is James Maddison for you, returning back to training, and I think Ange Postecoglou is a happy man that he's putting in that effort that he has always gone ahead to call in for at the side of Tottenham Hotspur. Then Platigol has come out and really told us that Joelinton will undergo a groin surgery tomorrow in Barcelona and is likely to be out until the end of February. Clear tendency at this stage, Joelinton won't extend his contract beyond 2025. Now, there are two stories into this. He got a groin injury and he's going to be undergoing that surgery down in Barcelona. If they say he's going to be out until the end of April, that means he'll only have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to play into this season. That is not good news to the ears of the fans of Newcastle, because Joelinton, Sandro Tonali are out of the season almost, and when you add Bruno Guimaraes to those three, they had gone ahead to form what we call a juggernaut of a midfield that everyone was really afraid of, meaning that Newcastle has to operate at a very, very low quality presence. And the likes of Longstaff will come in through, that 18-year-old forward, midfield they brought in through that is left-footed, that is really good and exciting, will come in through the midfield. And it looks like Joelinton doesn't want to obviously extend his contract beyond 2025 and will be looking for greener pastures, because when you look at the quality that Newcastle are really bringing in, Joelinton is not going to be part of it. If Sandro Tonali returns next season alongside Bruno Guimaraes, if at all they keep him, because PSG and Barcelona are interested in him plus Liverpool, I know they're going to add in one more midfielder, and that midfielder will keep Joelinton out of the team. Keeping Joelinton out of the team, it will take a lot to convince him to stay at the side of at the side of Newcastle, because very many teams will be interested in obviously taking him and getting him there. But apart from all that, where is Newcastle gonna be? Because their injury list is really shocking, really shocking. And as other players return, others go back onto injury. So it's really very bad. But Joelinton is going to undergo a surgery and he's going to be out until the beginning of May. That is Joelinton. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Tell me your thoughts about Arsenal's final January transfer decision made. Do you really fancy what Arsenal is going to have to make as a decision to get in a versatile centre back? Would you like Karim Benzema to come in through? All that and more into the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the return of James Maddison and Joelinton undergoing surgery down in Barcelona. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. We cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. We sign out. Don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Ciao, ciao.